The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, permission to arrest the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, preparatory to his arraignment on Thursday. Justice Emeka Nwite granted the warrant on Wednesday at the instance of the EFCC. Earlier, a High Court sitting in Lokoja, Kogi State capital, restrained the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from infringing on the fundamental human rights of the former Kogi State Governor. In a 2-hour judgment delivered on Wednesday at the High Court 4 and presided over by Honorable Justice I.A Jamil, the court restrained the EFCC from arresting, detaining, and prosecuting the applicant except as authorized by the court. Joining me for more updates on this is our correspondent, Amadine Uyi. Amadine, if you can hear me, good evening. I'll try and get Amadine subsequently. But also joining us on the news to discuss this is legal practitioner Okiki Adeniro. Okiki, thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.
What are the potential consequences for the EFCC if they disregard the court order and proceed with arresting or prosecuting Yahaya Bello? Does appealing the order change the situation?
Well, the consequences basically are that, in this kind of case, when the court has, given an order that a particular act should not be done, if that is done against the order of the court, then the party who has done so will be in contempt of court. Like you asked again, we appeal, having the request to appeal, will it solve the situation? Well, in this case, if the EFCC appeals the ruling that, that gave the order, that way, they can vacate that order. The court can look at it again, review the order, and see if it was gotten in the proper way. What we have presently is that the EFCC has approached the appeal court in order to appeal the ruling, that made that order. So, as the case is right now, the EFCC trying to arrest where there's a subsisting order is not legal. An order of court is supposed to be adhered to, basically.
How does the EFCC alleged disobedience to the court order impact the prosecution of the corruption case against former Governor Bello?
Well, with this case right now, the issue we have at hand right now, it will further delay. The case we have right now needs to be taken carefully. It needs to be approached carefully. If at this point in time, the EFCC wants to arrest Governor Yahaya Bello with the order subsisting saying that he should not be arrested or prosecuted, if that is done, Governor Yahaya Bello has the right to go to court to charge them for contempt. And that will further delay the prosecution of Governor Yahaya Bello, because at the time when that will probably be going on, there will still be an order subsisting saying that they should stay, right? So in this case right now, I believe that it will further delay if they go ahead to arrest Governor Yahaya Bello, or if they go ahead to do any other thing outside what the court has said.
Can the EFCC be legally pressured by politicians to act maybe against the court order? If so, what recourse is available?
Well, I don't believe that the EFCC can be legally pressured. Legally pressured means that you probably have to go through the legal means to do an act. Like I mentioned, you will agree with me that an order of court is subsisting, right? If the order of court is subsisting, there's no other legal way than to, have recourse to the Court of Appeal to vitiate the order that's been given at the lower court. If that will not be done, it means that the EFCC will have to adhere to that order, And as it is now, the case is at the Court of Appeal. The EFCC has appealed to the Court of Appeal to vitiate that order. So basically, there's no way the politicians can legally, if there's anything that is done, it will only be done illegal in an illegal manner. And right now, what we have presently, the process has started. EFCC started the process of vitiating that order. Then they should follow the process and ensure that that order is vacated, and then they can go ahead to do what they need to do.
How might the EFCC's actions, if found to be unlawful, set a precedent for future cases involving law enforcement and court orders?
Well, if found unlawful, I'm certain that this is probably not the first time this is happening. We've seen different cases where there'll be an order of court, and an agency of government will probably still go ahead to go and perform an act which the court has said it should not do. It will further push forward that any agency of government should obey the rule of law, respect the law, and adhere to what the court has said. These are the things that are happening in the country, and that might probably cause anarchy. Where there's no law, then there will be anarchy. So I believe that in this case, let it be known to other agencies of the government that an order of court, when is made, even if it is not in their support, if it is not what they expect, they need to obey the law. They need to obey the courts and adhere by what the court has said, and not flout the rules.
Okiki, thank you very much for speaking with us. I guess everybody will be excited a day that we see politicians respect court orders. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.